What's up, Stat Fam? I told you we was coming back with another. We got Larry Bird, the legend in green. This is a live reaction. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, and comment below. Let's get it. Never get old. It's always something new. Shout out to you, Big Bird. You putting real work in though. We thankful. It hit different. You a real hoop. It hit different. You know, I'm going at Big Bird. It's live.
The following is a Fox 25 sports special.
He always had to prove himself, because I don't think really nobody ever really thought that he would be that good.
And we getting started early.
Being from a small town community, people over here, they just go out of their way to be nice to people and to do things for people. And Larry was kind of like that. I think that's kind of like the rest of our family.
People know, you just have to say French Lick and they know where it is. He's put us back on the map.
He really has pulled the state together and the communities, especially French Lick and West Baden. That's their son, and everything revolves around that.
Who'd ever thought that that little blonde-headed boy would go on and be what he was? We're the luckiest family in the world.
There's only one place I'd rather be. French Lick. French Lick. French Lick.
I would say the whole town's very proud of him. He means a lot to him. It's such a small community. Everybody knows everybody here in town. There ain't nobody that doesn't know who the Bird family is.
This is his home. There's nobody rushing up to him for an autograph. There's nobody stopping him, giving him a hassle. This is home.
He treats me just like he would have 18 years ago. And I treat him the same. I don't cut him no slack, and he don't cut me less.
They were hard workers. They were churchgoers. Larry's father was a fine person. He just had some major problems that were very difficult for him to overcome, and he couldn't overcome them. In a sense, it made the boys and Linda stronger. I think the one thing I got from my father was his determination to go to work no matter what. My mother worked 100 hours a week. She got $1 an hour. We grew up without a lot of things that the other kids had, but we didn't care. We had sports and we had our family.
There's no question at all who was the best player in NBA basketball. There is no doubt.
Big Bird.
To fully understand the basketball genius of Larry Bird, you have to come back to its roots here in French Lick, Indiana. Hello, I'm Jimmy Myers, and welcome to our special, Larry Bird, a legend in green. It was here in a close-knit community that Bird, influenced by family and friends, acquired the work ethic and values that would build a Hall of Fame basketball career.
A very quiet boy, a very loving boy, a very good little boy. The other boys seemed like always wanted to be out doing something, but he more or less wanted to stay around the house, stay around with me and help me. And he wanted everything done right.
Big
I don't know
Bird.
whether I should say this or not, but we gave him a nickname of Mr. Clean.
Larry, Mr.
Not many people know that. He'd go out and play, and he'd come back in and he'd take a shower and change clothes. He could not stand to be dirty. He had to be clean, so we called him Mr. Clean.
Yeah, Bird.
We grew up without a lot of things that the other kids had, but we didn't care. We had sports and we had our family. I think the one thing I got from my father was his determination to go to work no matter what. I never seen him cry about being sick. I never seen him got injured. I never seen him say, well, I'm going to miss work tomorrow. My mother worked so many hours. She worked 100 hours a week, and she made $100 back then. She's very stubborn. I'm very stubborn. She's very moody. I'm very moody. So I get a lot of things from her, and all that goes with me when I play basketball, because if I have an injury, I try to play through it like my father would. and I'm very stubborn with the way I look at the game. I look at the game a little bit different than a lot of people, and I think I get that from her.
Larry, here clowning around on the left, grew up with younger brothers Jeff and Eddie, his sister Linda, and older brothers Mike and Mark.
One thing that we did as kids is there was always a fight every day, and it was usually either me and Larry fighting, or Mike and Larry fighting, or me and Mike fighting. But nobody dared pick on any one of us, because then all three of us were pretty tough together. Larry used to get in a lot of fights. He wouldn't pick on kids his own age because he was so much bigger than them, but he'd always pick on somebody that was 5 or 6 years older than him. He got us into many fights.
Well, my dad told us as young kids, he always says, well, if your brother gets in a fight and a guy's bigger than him, if you don't jump in when you get home, you're going to get a whipping. Well, that's the same way with our friends. I have a lot of good friends, and sometimes they get in trouble, and I try to help them out. And I'm not necessarily fighting all the time, but when we was younger, we should stick up for one another. And I think anybody would do that. But my dad always taught us you got to do whatever you can to help that individual out, because he's a part of you, and that's where we was brought up.
Larry's upbringing would take a tragic turn in February of 1975, when his father, Joe, ended his own life with a shotgun.
It's not how it was done that makes it so terrible. If it had been a car wreck or something, it wouldn't have been quite as bad. But to think that maybe we all could have done something, especially me. I have always thought just one little thing maybe could have changed the whole thing.
I just wish he was around. My dad was one of the greatest people in this community. A lot of people liked him. I mean, he was just Joe Bird. Everybody knew him. And it's just sad that, he's not here to reap the benefits of all of his kids' hard work.
Do you ever wish that your dad could have seen all this?
No, there's no question. I just seen a guy over town yesterday was saying, "Boy, I wish your dad was here to see all the accomplishments that you've made and all the things that you've done." And of course you would. There's nothing you can do about it. You got to move on with your life. He made the decision of how he wanted to live his life and how he wanted to die. And you can't dwell on that. You dwell on it when it happens, and you go, Jesus Christ, you can't believe it. I still can't believe it. But I can't live my life around it. I got to put that aside and go on. And all I can do is just hopefully when it's all over, we'll get to meet again.
In addition to his parents and siblings, Granny Kearns, whom Larry lived with for a few years, greatly touched his life.
I think everybody perceived me as being sort of a hard-nosed guy and very moody and does what he wants to do. Well, my grandmother's completely opposite. She's very religious, very church-going, and I always thought that I was wrong because I didn't go to church. If I came in at 10 o'clock at night, she'd always fix me popcorn, always give me back rubs, and she was a big part of my life, a big part of our family. And when she passed, it was unbelievable. I mean, it was just like, this ain't supposed to happen, but it happened. And I think about her every day. That's one person that I've always thought about every day in my life.
Man to man, what does your brother mean to you?
He means the greatest. I love him. I love all my brothers and my sister. And he just typifies hard work and desire to be the best. And that's what he means to me, the greatest.
When you think of all the things that your amazing son has done, how do you describe your sense of pride?
Well, first I think of him as just my boy, one of my boys, one of my children. I'm proud of all of them. They've all done good. And Larry's just a little special touch to all of it, and we're all very proud of him. To think, who'd ever thought that little blonde-headed boy would go on and be what he was? We're the luckiest family in the world.
We're torching now. Made no sense to torch the league. Real legend, Big Bird. For real.
13 years of hard work, sweat, toil, and pain produced fame and fortune for one Larry Joe Bird. But it was here on this court at Spring Valley High School in French Lick, Indiana, that a young man grew to love the game of basketball, and the legend was born.
There was many games we stepped out on that court, and he'd have to get us up. He could psych us up. I mean, we would feel, you know, you look at the team there, and boy, we thought, boy, this is, you know, we're playing a lot bigger schools than us. And Larry, I mean, he just had this thing. He says, boys, he says, we can do it. He said, let's go out there. He said, ain't nobody, you know, no better. And I tell you, he could get us up. I mean, he could make us believe it. And I tell you, nobody expected the year we had in high school seasons. Nobody ever expected it. But he had, and it was mainly due to his desire. He was a coach out on the floor with us.
I can still remember it just like it was yesterday.
Big game.
And oh yeah, and just to watch him play and the crowd. He would build the crowd up, and then the crowd would build him up to do just a little bit more. And so, I mean, you could almost still hear the ringing in your ears.
Two individuals were most responsible for Larry's development as a basketball player. The first was Brother Mark, who began the number 33 tradition and preceded Larry as a star at Springs Valley.
I think the one thing that caught my eye when my brother was a junior in high school, how much time he put into it to perfect his skills. Mark was 3 years older than me, and what happened was he just kept playing and playing, got better and better and better, and I sort of caught on, and finally figured that it took a lot of time to be good, and then I put the same amount of time in it, and I see my game improve, and sort of got a kick out of it.
Larry credits his first coach, Jim Jones, with instilling in him the fundamentals and work ethic that would symbolize his great career.
He stopped by and gave you a couple moves to work on. He said, now I'll be back in an hour. We'll see how you did. Well, he might not come back for 4 or 5 hours, but you weren't going to leave because you want to make sure, you knew he was going to come back sometime. Then he might show up the next day, and he goes, well, I'm sorry I didn't show up yet. But after a while, I kept telling my buddy I played with all the time, I said, I think he's just doing that to keep us out here so we'll practice more. And come to find out that's why he was doing it. But still, he worked with us a lot. I mean, he put his time in. And you don't find too many coaches like that. And I think that gave me a direction to go in. If he's going to work that hard as a coach, as a player, you should double your time to make him proud of you.
I can remember as a very youngster, as a sophomore in high school, his ability to understand the situation and to make the passes were there. I've seen him make behind-the-back passes. I can recall one specific incident that we were playing, and the kid that I was playing with as a junior was trying to break the school scoring record, and we had everybody out in a blowout, but he was in, and he was just wearing out because the kids couldn't get him the ball. And Larry, as typical, says, Coach, put me back in, we'll get it. We put Larry back in the game, 3 passes, the kid has 3 baskets, and he breaks the school record. And to Larry, there was nothing.
When did you realize that your brother Larry was going to be a special basketball player?
The time that I thought that I seen Larry play, and I thought, boy, this kid is going to be something, was a summer of his between his junior and senior year. And when I left French Lick here, Larry was about 6'3", probably weighed around 150, maybe 55 pounds. And he was a good, I mean, you could tell he was going to be a good athlete. He was going to be as good, if not better than me. He comes up there, and all of a sudden he's 6'6" now, weighs about 175, 180 pounds. I couldn't believe it. And me and Larry was on the same team with our other friend that came up, and we just dominated. We started about 5 o'clock and played till about 9:30, 10 o'clock. We never lost a game. And that's the day that I just knew that Larry was destined for something better than anybody could imagine. I think that was the first time that I can remember that Larry ever beat me one-on-one. I mean, he just couldn't do it. I always had that psychological edge on him, a little bit more quickness than him. But now all of a sudden he's got this height, these drives to the basket anymore where I could just shoot it up over him. I was getting him knocked back in my face. It was scary. 1973-74, Larry Bird's senior year in high school. State's leading scorer, state's leading rebounder.
leading his team to the championship game in the regional.
Larry's accomplishments at Springs Valley lured college recruiters to French Lick. Public sentiment persuaded him to choose Indiana University and coach Bob Knight.
I think my dad was the biggest influence on Larry going to IU.
Really?
That's all he talked about was how good he would look in a red blazer, or in a nice red suit, a crimson suit that IU's colors.
He didn't want to go to IU in the first place. The night that Bobby Knight came down to talk to him, he said, "Mom, I don't want to go up there. I do not want to go." And he said, I said, "Well, why are you going somewhere you don't want to go?" And he said, "Too many people are depending on me." That's all they said. And he said, "I'll let too many people down." So he goes.
Larry stayed at IU for less than a month and returned home to French Lick. He took a job at the streets department, but his love for the game never wavered.
So this is Larry's famous practice court.
Yeah.
What was going on here?
I just nailed this bucket up with the whole bottom out of it and nailed it up here and like this and stood out there and shot balls in it.
With this low ceiling, he stood up here.
Yeah.
How long was this for?
All through dinner time.
Every day.
Yeah.
Larry enrolled at Indiana State the following fall, and 3 years later led the unheralded Sycamores to 33 straight wins before a championship loss to Michigan State and Magic Johnson. Through it all, he had no idea how far his talents would take him.
And really, when I was in college, I never thought about the pros until the Celtics drafted me in my junior year. The thing with me was, he came from a small school. He never played against good competition. When I got to college, it was basically the same thing. Until my senior year, then everybody sort of figured that I'd be able to play professional basketball. But to me, I didn't know until I got to training camp in Marshfield.
I guarantee you I'll give 100% every time I come out. And if I get a torn toenail or something, I won't sit out. I'll play as hard as I can every night. And I hope I can bring excitement to the fans, and I'll never give up.
Dude is a real legend, man, for real. Dude went back home, went to work, made his own basketball goal, and was still putting in work. I don't need to see no more.
When Larry Bird left behind the towns of French Lick, West Baden, and Terre Haute, Indiana to come here to the city of Boston, the hopes and dreams of an entire franchise were pinned squarely on his shoulders. Anointed as the team's savior, Larry would indeed salvage and restore the pride of the Boston Celtics.
I never really knew what was going on in Boston when I was in college. They drafted me as a junior. I decided to stay in school. Later on, I found they was writing a lot of articles. They was following my career. They had some games on TV out there. But I really never knew what I was getting myself into. Thank God. I mean, it's great that I didn't. When I went out there with a fresh mind, just knowing all I had to do was play basketball for a living. I think the big eye-opener was when I walked in the first practice and Cedric Maxwell and Curtis Rowe and Sidney Wicks were there, and I could hear them sort of rumbling, like, here's our savior, we got to watch out this. And that fired me up right there because I knew I had to go in there and establish myself right away. I couldn't wait 2 or 3 weeks to get a feel. I had to go in and play well the first 2 or 3 practices. They wouldn't have no respect for.
From day one, he came in and really made an impact even in practice with his passing and his shooting ability. And he just seemed to always be able to spot the open man. And it just came to be that you work that much harder to get open, because if you did, you would get the ball.
Larry's multifaceted game quickly blossomed in the pros. He captured Rookie of the Year honors in 1980, and the following season led the Boston Celtics back to the NBA mountaintop.
Well, 81 was very important because I wanted to get the first one on my belt. The Magic had one. I thought it was very important because we had a young team and we had to establish ourselves right away. You can come in second or you can come in third all you want, but you got to win a title to get respect.
Larry was now respected as a superstar in the league, but a tumultuous 4-game sweep by the Bucks in the '83 playoffs proved to be a turning point in his career, prompting him to rededicate himself to the game.
I'm going to punish myself as far as playing basketball. I'll take off a couple of weeks. I'm going to go as hard as I possibly can. And they can always say you'll be burnt out or you're going to be this. Well, I'm going to wait till the day I get burnt out from basketball. I want to win an NBA championship, and I'm going to start in a couple of weeks from now.
I was very embarrassed the way we performed in the playoffs. We had a lot of bickering with the coach, and the players wouldn't get along with each other. That's what usually happens. If players don't get along with the coach, they start bickering among each other, and you know, it was just a bad year. I mean, we started off well, but you could tell we was missing something. And after the season was over, we got embarrassed in Milwaukee. It was time to step forward and do something. Are you going to let your whole career go like this? Or are you going to step forward and show these guys who the real leader of this team is and establish yourself as a leader and go from there? And I think that's what I did. I came home, I worked very hard, I went back, and I have put together some good years.
Some good years translated into 3 consecutive Most Valuable Player awards and 2 more NBA championships. The first of these titles would come in 1984 at the expense of the hated Lakers, and on a Celtic team that made a habit of winning the big one.
And come down to one game, I don't think there's ever a better team in basketball than the Boston Celtics that year, because we knew that we had enough good players that could play together, stay within the framework of what we was trying to do, and win the basketball game. As you remember, Senator Maxwell, get on my back, boys. I'll carry you to the final. That's good enough. If he thought he could do that, give him the ball and let him do it. I mean, nobody else was going to stand by, well, I can do it too. Hey, Cedric said he can do it. Let's see if he can do it. And that's how we felt about each other.
How Larry felt about old Full Magic Johnson was another story. Grew heights and dominated the mid-'80s. But not until 1987 did a lasting friendship develop.
When we first came in and we didn't speak, we kind of had a little rivalry, a little thing of, I don't like you, you don't like me, that whole thing. And we were on a commercial shoot, and there was a lot of dead time. And on that dead time, we just started talking. And, we said, hey, you ought to stop this. We can be heated rivals when we hit the floor, but off the court, we can talk and be men and really rap to each other.
We sort of found out that we have similar backgrounds. You know, his dad worked very hard, and he used to go with his father to work. He loved the game so much, and we liked a lot of things that other people would never dream that we'd like. And
wow. Is he?
Well, yeah, we go together. We go fishing together. We go messing around, shopping, you know, walking through malls or movies and stuff like that.
While Magic Johnson represented the opponent he most feared, Larry would tab Dennis Johnson as the best he's ever played with.
DJ could always take his game to another level. No matter how the opposing team was playing, he could take it to that next level. A lot of players can't do that. A lot of players sort of max out. DJ always seems to take it to another level. Like I said, when DJ started driving the hole, he played a different game. He never missed free throws. You know, you hardly ever see him miss free throws at the end of the game. And get the ball in the people's hands that were getting the job done. Very intelligent.
Everything just fit right as a glove when it pertained to me and Larry. And all the passes that I made, I mean, anything that we did, it just worked. I mean, we can go back to the steal against Detroit. He makes the steal, I make the cut, I make the basket. He passes to me. One of the few times, I might add, he passes to me too.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ. Boyd has 1 second left. Play by Bird. Bird stalled. He is holding back. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up and in. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left. Oh my, this place is going crazy.
But always remember, Larry Bird came to win. He didn't come to play, he came to win. He'd play hurt, and also, Larry Bird, in my opinion, was the most highly self-motivated athlete I ever saw.
Larry's self-motivation and will to win never displayed itself more prominently or with more emotion than in Game 6 of the '86 Finals, when the Celtics claimed banner number 16.
I never, ever felt a feeling like that. I was so pumped up for that game. I think I slept probably 1 hour to 2 hours the night before because I was so pumped up, and I was trying to calm myself down. And I was everywhere that day. I mean, I was running around, playing the zone. I think it was just so much emotion because I won a championship the year that we had to have one. We had our best team. We put our best team forward. We had a great year. And when I came out of that game, I actually thought I was going to have a heart attack. By the time I got to the bench, I can remember Bill Walton grabbed me, and I said, hey, I just got to sit down. I mean, Jesus. I thought I was going to die. But if I died right there that day, I've been a happy man.
Real legend, man. Never get old. What's your favorite player?
In 1980, when the Boston Celtics traded for Robert Parrish and a draft pick which became Kevin McHale, no one could have imagined the glory and camaraderie to follow. Suffice it to say, there may never be another front line to compare in greatness with the big three of Bird, Parrish, and McHale.
Two baddest white guys in the world.
I see Robert said that pick and roll Larry, and Larry said that bounce pass to Chief Duncan. I say, I've just seen that play a million times, and no one still can't stop him.
He's a guy that can't jump. He's not the fastest guy in the world. He just beat guys on fundamentals.
Kevin plays against me hard, and I play against him hard. I try to push him to the limits, and he tries to push me to the limits. It's just something that always happened. I remember his first practice with Celtics. I thought, well, I'm going to kill this guy today. He came in late. Went in there about the first 2 or 3 times. He blocked my shot, and I thought, you know, give this guy a little bit more respect. I mean, he actually blocked my shot the first 2 times I went in there, and I thought, boy, this guy can play defense. Well, come to find out, he's a great defensive player, but he's a lot better scorer. Everybody always builds up and blows things out of proportion. I have a lot of respect for Kevin. He's a great basketball player, and he's a great guy.
Great, good relationship. You know, I think it was a lot of people expected, because we both came from small towns, both came from the Midwest, both were white, both played forward, both played for the Celtics, that we'd be joined at the hip. But we're 2 different people. But in all the times that Larry and I played, you know, we never had any disagreements. We played very well together. It was always fun playing with him. It was really an honor and a privilege to play with Larry Bird. And I don't think a lot of people really know him that well off the court. He's a pretty fun-loving, fun guy.
Kevin reminds me a lot of my little brother. Kevin works very hard. Kevin spends a lot of time after practice working on his game. But the thing that always made me mad about Kevin, he was having 2 years there where he was playing so great that it was just unbelievable watching him play. And I always sat there on the bench. I said, God, Kevin, you can win MVP this year. I don't want it. I don't care. I don't want it. You know, it's not a big deal. I want to just play and help win. He let 1 year slip away where he could win the big prize. You know, 1 time is good enough. When you win it 1 time, that's all you need to win it. And Kevin had all the skills to do it. And when I go to my grave, I'll know that 1 year he played just as well or even better than I did.
Larry, I think, is a very nice person, a very proud person also. Takes a lot of pride in everything that he does. I think that's one of the reasons why he has such great work ethics on the basketball court. I think it's one of the reasons why he's such a great player, because he takes a lot of pride in what he do. And if I could say one thing to describe Larry, you know, he's a very, very proud person. Very proud.
Once we stepped on the court, we had a bond. We was all there to accomplish something, and we knew that we was all good in our areas. We had to use that to win basketball games. Robert would come to practice. He'd do his work. He'd work. He's the hardest worker I ever seen in practice in a 2-hour period. He'd do everything that could. I never hardly ever seen him miss a practice. He'd work as hard as he possibly could. When the practice was over, if he needed extra shooting, he'd stay around and shoot a little bit, but he was gone. Robert likes his privacy, and we all respected that.
I've heard, you know, different critics say, you know, arguably we are the best front line to be assembled, but I don't know about the greatest, but I know we're one of the greatest. You know, I've been very fortunate to be surrounded by great talent, like Larry and Kevin.
Two of the best forwards who ever played the game. You're playing with the best post-up guys who have played the game and the best all-around forward to have played the game.
And I look back on it, we all complement each other very well. I think that Larry's ability to move the ball, shoot the ball, get the ball inside to Robert and I's ability to block shots, if Larry's man got by him, or cover up a little bit on the defensive end for all of us guys. Then let Larry roam a little bit more and play the team defense, which he's very effective at. All that stuff, we all helped each other, because no one person wins and no one person can do it. And altogether, us three, run a lot of games together and did a lot of really fun things on the court together.
So we always got together when we was on the road for New Year's. Didn't matter, every New Year's Eve, we all get together as a team and we party a little bit, or we go out and eat. And that's really the only time we got together as a group. And that's just the way we did things. Now we're getting a little bit older. Of course, we can't stay up late anymore.
Yeah, right. Camaraderie that we've had between the three of us, the closeness, all the fun we've had, off the court. Not to mention the fun we had on the court. And that's one of the things I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss the friendship part of it. I've said this before. That's one thing I'm going to miss most about not having Larry around.
Them guys will never know how much I appreciate them, because I know how good they were and what they did for us to win basketball games.
His time came, but boy, I tell you what, he had a hell of a run. And say whatever you want about the man, he had a hell of a run when he was out there playing. He was the best I'd ever, he's the best I ever played with, against, or anything I've ever seen. People talk about Michael Jordan now and stuff. Michael Jordan can do a ton of stuff, but I don't think anybody was as good in the last few seconds as Larry was.
All right, now Danny. Goes cross court to Bird. Bird throws it up. It's gone. A three-pointer. Larry Bird hit a three-pointer with 4 seconds to go, and they lead by 1. DJ is going to put the ball in play. He's not being guarded. It goes to Bird. Bird up fake. Bird takes the shot. It's gone. Oh my goodness! I can't believe it. It is gone from the corner. Oh my! Bird pops out. Gets it on the sideline. Goes baseline. Throws it up. Larry Bird did it again. He did it again. Oh my goodness. He did it again. He hit the runner from the right side, the baseline, and did it again.
Make no sense. Hitting game winners like that. I'm talking about Clutch. Clutch Bird. They couldn't do nothing with you. They couldn't do nothing with you, I promise you.
Larry entitled his autobiography, Drive, and perhaps no word better captures the competitive spirit and abundant pride in the man. For 13 seasons, we sat in these seats in the Boston Garden and marveled at his magic on the court. While deep down inside of us all, there was always a sense of wonderment as to what made this private and dedicated athlete tick.
I can remember working out in the summer times for 3 and 4 hours a day. And people would say, well, why do you put so much time in? The other guys, I know other guys don't even play. Well, that's the way they look at it. I want to be in the best shape I can be in. I want to go back and I want to have a big year. And I want to earn my money. I want to earn my money like everybody else should. And that's what kept me motivated. I think every time I got a new contract, that motivated me to play harder and work harder, because you have to live up to it. Getting the money is one thing. Earning it's not that easy. I mean, you've got to go out there every night, play as hard as you can, or the fans will get down on you. And that's one thing I didn't want him to do.
Larry was a driven man, because he wanted to be so good. People said that he was a very good ball player, and I think that's a reputation that he wanted to live up to. Matter of fact, I think he was just afraid of failure. He had this burning desire to be successful, to be the best.
Larry's the type of guy, you just don't play anything for nothing. It doesn't have to be monetary. It's just the idea I beat you. I can recall an incident. He was at our house. My daughter was pregnant, and we were playing ping pong in the basement. She beat him. He liked to kill her. He strung her over that ping pong table till her little legs wouldn't move. But that's Larry's competitiveness.
In high school, Larry was slower than Palm Water, man. I mean, he was slow. Oh, he was slow. We went down there one night, got on the track and decided to race. This is when you got in the pros. And he said, I think I can beat you now. And I said, no, I don't think you can. We went down there and raced. By God, he beat me. He outran me in 100. He outran me. I never would have ever believed it. But that's design, you know. And I'm a little heavy, but I thought, well, there ain't no way as slow as you are.
I think he was motivated by pride. I know that when he would talk to Bill Russell, he admired Bill Russell. He saw some of the things that Russell did on film. And just by talking to him, because Bill Russell was so bright, they had great conversations. He admired him. And I love Larry for that, because Larry, believe it or not, had a lot of humility.
Larry's humility and appreciation for consistent greatness allowed him to draw inspiration from another legend of Boston sports.
Well, I really don't know why Bobby Orr, but the guy was so awesome. And for some reason, I started looking up there earlier in my career when they had his number up there. And every time I see it, I just focus in on it. And I can always remember the shot every game where he flipped the one backhand and dove across the ice. And for every separate game, when I look up there, that's all I think about. Plus, I always look at our 3 banners at the end. That sort of got me fired up for the game. That was like the icing on the cake, get myself prepared for the first of the game.
During a game, Larry emerged as the ultimate extrovert, with flamboyant passes and an open display of emotions. Off the court, however, he often shunned the glare of the spotlight.
I don't like to be around big crowds. I just never felt comfortable being around a lot of people. The one thing that I never had any schooling. When I went from a small town, I really never left this town when I was a kid. We never had a family car. We never had, vacations together. So when I went to college, and I started dealing with the press, once we started playing and winning, then all of a sudden the press come in. I never had no tutoring and all that. So I shied away right away. And I'm still a shy person, but I let more people come around me as far as the press. I go to functions, but I don't like to do them every night like some people. It's just not my style. I don't know why. I think it might be the shyness. People can say what they want, I don't care. But I enjoy being by myself and being with my family.
Larry's extended family includes the people of French Lick and West Baton. He is unquestionably the source of tremendous civic pride, but in this community, he is admired as much for who he is as for what he has accomplished.
This is his home. There's nobody rushing up to him for an autograph. He jogs, he rides his bicycle back and forth along the highway here. There's nobody stopping him, giving him a hassle. This is home.
We went mushroom hunting together and stuff like that.
Mushroom hunting?
Yeah.
What is mushroom hunting?
I just go out in the woods and find these things called mushrooms.
Oh, little mushrooms?
Yeah.
Mushroom hunting. Larry Bird was mushroom hunting.
Yeah, he liked to do that.
If Larry had not been Larry Bird, world-renowned basketball player, who do you think he would have been?
Professional mushroom hunter. Because he could hunt the mushrooms.
I always thought I wanted to be construction worker or something like that. Growing up in a small town, I never was real good with my hands, but when I was in high school, I worked for the gas company, and we always laid gas lines in and stuff like that. And, that was all right, but I always want to get to the big pipes. Use the backhoes and the dozers and all that stuff.
Wait. That's the greatest understatement you ever made in your life. I wasn't good with my hands. Are you serious?
Well, I mean, as far as a carpenter, I couldn't build things, and I'm not very good at fixing things, but as far as digging big holes and laying piping, I can do that.
There comes out against Norman. Launches.
Take it home. That'll do it.
I forgot to tell Mr. Allback, but I would have played for nothing. It's been pretty awesome over the last 13 years that knowing that I played the game that I loved and got paid for it. I always say, well, I would have played for nothing, but I don't know if I would have done it because you have to travel and you have a lot of injuries. But the one thing that I do know is that it's a game I love and I got paid well for it. And I'm just sad it's over. Not because of the money, it's just because I couldn't go out the way I wanted to go out with the championship. like to play a little bit longer, maybe a year or two more, but there's just no way possible I was going to be able to do that. So today I'm retiring, and I'm still going to be around, but not in the capacity I once was. So as far as I'm concerned, I gave my heart, my body, my soul to the Celtics, and hopefully we can continue to have a good relationship.
If there is any more basketball to be played in Larry Bird's life, more than likely it'll be played on this court that he built at his beautiful home in West Baden, Indiana. But retirement from the NBA does not signify an end for Larry Bird, only a beginning of a new life to be shared with his wife Dinah and their son Connor.
Probably the best mate anybody could ever get, because there've been a lot of nights where we sit up and watch basketball games over and over. There've been a lot of nights where there's been a lot of sadness in the house when we lose big games, and she fought right through it with me. But she poured every game that I played in the Garden. She never missed a game. She's just a very, very sweet lady, and I'll tell you, I'm very lucky. After almost 17 years now, for all the things I've done, it's been tough on her, but we got through it, and now it's her time to shine. We're going to do a lot of things now. She loves to play tennis. She loves to run and play golf. So now we got time to do all that stuff.
With my man Connor.
With our man Connor.
He's special too.
Very special. He's a gift from God, and we enjoy him so much. He's a big part of our life now, and we can't wait till he gets moving and grooving. So, but we almost had a little problem in Barcelona. He wouldn't sleep at night, so we didn't know what we was going to do. But we're home now. He's happy. You know, the one thing I'm going to try to stress is, you know, he's going to have to make a decision what he wants to do. I don't know if it's basketball, football, if he wants to be a lawyer, if he wants to be a gardener, or whatever he wants to do. He's going to have to put the time in to do it. He's going to have to make sure that he knows what it takes to do that job. And I guarantee you, the one thing he's going to do, if he does it, he's going to put all his effort into it. Because that's the way I was taught, and that's the way I'm going to try to teach him.
While Larry, Dinah, and Connor will now spend their lives comfortably in the French Lick, West Baden area, the past 5 years have been filled with the pain and frustration of injuries. Larry tore both Achilles tendons, then underwent surgery on both heels in 1988. Soon after, he suffered the back ailments, which would necessitate his early retirement.
The back injury was different. Achilles wasn't going to be me, but the back's got me. I mean, there's no question. Some days it's pretty rough, and other days it's pretty good. But it got me. And then when it hit me hard. I was never in great shape. I couldn't get up and down the court like I wanted to. I always felt that I could that once I had surgery and I was feeling good, I could get back to where I was at, because I could get myself in shape and I could prepare myself. But once my back started acting up again, I couldn't do that. And after that, it was all downhill, because if I can't practice, I can't play the way I want to play.
He was in a lot of pain. At least when I talked to him on a lot of occasions, he'd say, "Oh, my back feels great today," and I'd call him 3 days later and he couldn't even get out of bed. It was hurting so bad.
Listen, I have back trouble all the time, and my back hurts continuously, but I wish it could have been mine. I wish it had been mine. And let him went on for, he'd had 3 more good years. His back, you know, the elbow got okay. The heels got okay. And I prayed and hoped that his back, I really thought his back would be better. I really thought that his back would be healed enough where he could go out and play at least 1 more year.
Despite the pain, Larry participated in the Barcelona Olympics. The gold medal triumph served as the crowning achievement to a brilliant career.
I didn't know if my career was over at that time, but I looked around and I smelled the roses. I was very proud. I haven't had an opportunity to play for my country in a long time. I had an opportunity to do it. And I came at the end of my career, and yeah, you're right, I was very, very proud.
I'll just have to say now, everybody's got their favorite player and everything, but there's no question at all who it was the best player in NBA basketball. There is no doubt. And it's Larry Bird. I don't care. I'm prejudiced, maybe, but I mean, all-around player. Now, there'll never be, I don't think anybody will ever be like him.
Larry's now
major part of your life is stopped. But you're not Larry Bird's player present here now. You're Larry Bird's retired, different sort of guy.
Good. That's the way I want it.
And you got belong.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure, you know, in Boston, it's different. I mean, if you play professional sports in Boston, you treat your fans right, they support you, and you show your affection to them from your heart, they'll follow your career till the day you die. Just look at back at all of that. John Havlicek, Carl Yastrzemski, you know, just everybody. And I was very fortunate to be able to go to Boston and play basketball. I was received very well. The fans come out and watch us play all the time. And that's all you can ask for. And to show our respect to them, just say, hey, all I can do is say thank you very much for making all of our careers great. And, you know, if they want to quit all my career here on after, that's fine with me, because I think I'll enjoy this part better than I ever have, because I've been in limelight for 17 years, and now it's time to calm down and live a normal, peaceful life.
Real legend.
"13 years, 3 NBA titles, 3 MVP awards, and a gold medal, and thousands of magical basketball moments for millions of basketball fans. It all contributed to the making of a basketball virtuoso. And while it is so difficult to encapsulate Larry Bird's life in just 1 hour, we hope that we've given you a little bit more of an insight into the man behind the legend. And for all of you out there who had a chance to watch him play, we say thank you, Captain Larry Joe Bird. Thank you for the memories, and thank you for being a legend in green.
Back to Bird. He tries another one. He's got it. He's got it. Right at the buzzer. He's got 60 points. Willis is riding McHale. Bird has the ball in three-point land. It's and Bird drives, lays it up. It is gone. He's gone. A stumbling falling shot. it is! It's in! He's tied it up with 2 seconds! Unbelievable! He has tied the game!